All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy in Living Production with my brother Hebot. Today we got some quite interesting to talk about. Um, and before I get into it, man, before I get into it, uh, the way listen, man, welcome to this episode of the Unlimited Truth. I can't wait to talk about this, and I can't wait to hear my good friend he bought his views on the matter. So yeah, before we get started on the topic and before I do my introductions, I like to introduce the people I'm working with on the show. And this man, he needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give him one anyway. He's a good brother. He's a good brother. He has more knowledge than I honestly haven't met anybody with more gaming knowledge than this man.
Oh,
So subscribe to him, man. Subscribe to him, and you'll be blessed with what is it? Figure reviews, gaming news, talks, a lot of historical context, just great stuff. And he is the and he is and this podcast we got next. Whenever it comes back, it whenever it comes back, just please feel free to join. So Tuck was in. Well, he'll come back. I'll add him in. But he bought. Please introduce
yes.
yourself.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful and so elegantly put introduction. Thank you for always for your kind words, your classy approach. You're always so. You're always such a you're such a kind and wonderful human being, and obviously friend. You're very classy. I've always told you that. And what you say, I appreciate it, and it means the world to me. Because I know it comes from the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and that means you know a lot to me. Just to let you know, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is me, Hiba, the world's most powerful gamer and most powerful gaming historian. So it's good to be here on a Friday. For even though it might be just for a little bit, because we're all busy on the weekends,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But I told Unlimited long ago, whenever he does anything, I'll come in and help him if I can,
Yep.
because I feel like I owe him so much, because he's been one of the few people that since I started has done nothing but gave me love and support on my channel, and he was always
Yeah.
there, um, in my comment sections all the time. No matter what anybody said, he always understood where I came from, and kept it positive and kept me motivated, basically, to be honest, to continue doing. So for people like him, I kept the will and the power and the motivation to keep doing it, what I do, even though I've gotten a lot of hate from people, because of misunderstandings, really, because they don't know who I am, and that happens. But yeah, man, it's good to be here, and I hope excited to see what we're going to talk about, because I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure exactly all the things you want to talk about. But I'm pretty excited, so
Well,
let's glad to be here, puppy.
yeah. Well, I wanted to start out with this, and I did make a video on it earlier. But sometimes, 5 minutes just isn't enough to get your thoughts out there. You know, and
Yeah,
especially when it's
exactly.
something this like this level of hypocrisy is just unmatched. You know, now look,
Okay.
the history of Sony in the gaming space is one that I feel like very few people truly understand. A lot of people weren't there the way that Sony pretty much tried to get one over on Nintendo when the original PlayStation was being developed, and and how the research and development was funded for that. People weren't there the way PlayStation fans ignored the Dreamcast for the PS2, which hurt that console so much. Sega started making third party games. People, I don't think people understand how people, the people at the top of Sony for decades now. The fake Killzone trailer. that fake engine on the PS3 where games never even came close to that. You know, with the ducks and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. I
the,
remember.
the
Hmm.
PS4, which was supposed to have the same features the Xbox One did, but they literally pulled stuff like the camera and the DRM and all that stuff last second
Yes.
um uh to spite Xbox and somehow got praised for doing nothing innovative. And today the news came out that well, it everything finally came full circle, Hebot, in that now it's official. PlayStation has their own version of Game Pass, which, by the way, it's not going to be close as good as Game Pass, and I'll get into details
Hmm.
why soon. But they got their own version of Game Pass coming this next spring, 2022. And
Hmm.
it's funny how just months ago, the likes of Jim Ryan, Sean Layden, and Sohan has said up and down and endlessly how subscription service aren't sustainable. That's all we heard.
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense to put our $100 million games, AAA games, on a subscription service. This, and that, and yet once again, Sony is following suit. I said in my video today, Sony in the gaming space have never been innovative. And if there's any more proof you need, today is just right there, right in front of you. How many times have we seen Sony shit on something the competition did, get their fans to hate it, and all this other stuff, just for them to do the exact same thing? And the reaction
Hmm.
is as you expect. Now it's the Game Pass killer. It's not, by the way, not even close. And and speaking of Game Pass killer, same how Killzone and Haze were the Halo killer and stuff like that. GT, Gran Turismo's the Forza killer. You know, stuff that just somehow never true. This isn't going to work out the way they think. Now, first of all, it's a three-tier subscription service. The first one is supposed to be your regular PS Now. The second one, I think, had like select PS4 and PS5 games. And the final tier is supposed to be all together with classic pretty much the PS1 and 2 and 3 games that are on PS Now and everything combined into one. It's going to combine PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus the same way Game Pass Ultimate combines, Xbox Game Pass with live, with cloud streaming and all that stuff. Now, something that they're not doing at the start, but they will do eventually. Mark my words on this, because if you haven't been paying attention, Sony, it's going to happen. Now, right now, there's no news of games going there day one. It will happen eventually, though. But yeah, there's no. It's not. So that's not going to be a thing at the start. And it's just, and look, this the infrastructure that they're using doesn't have the same love, care, time, and resource that Microsoft put into Game Pass, and that
Hmm.
is the biggest reason why I can't see it. You know, it's not going to do as well. Also, you fostered an audience that for the last 6 years, however long Game Pass been around in general, has hated subscription service. And thank you
Hmm.
for joining me. 100, man. Subscribe to 100. He is a excellent content. And Lewis L, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining as well. But yeah, back to the thing. Back to my intro. You fostered an audience that for years have been very open about hating subscriptions. Why? Well, I'd rather pay $70 to rent games, this, and that. And so now that they're lying to themselves, and I've seen the reaction with my own two eyes about how this is a Game Pass killer, this, and that. It's so phony, and it's just this minute, tiny section of the PlayStation community, the vocal minority that's been embarrassing themselves all year, who can't help themselves but to stick their foot in their mouth because they're similar to Sony. They know that the true innovators are Microsoft. All for over a year, the only time we have interesting gaming news until today was when Microsoft was doing it. The Bethesda deal, MLB The Show going to Game Pass, Outriders going to Game Pass, Flight Simulator, Halo, Forza Horizon, 10 million players in a week, all Xbox. And so Sony, look, people who run companies, they aren't stupid people. You don't even for businesses that aren't lighting the world on fire, I promise you they're not run by idiots. You can't be stupid to at least get into some form of position. And they see something important, Hebot. Xbox valuation. They see how much Xbox is valued. They see how successful Game Pass is. They see how much money Microsoft is making. They see how much how they see one of the most important factors right now is retaining your paying base. And what did Forza Horizon 5 10 million players in a week show in this Halo Infinite success show with the game isn't even technically released yet? That Microsoft is keeping their people subscribed to their service. They're this,
Hmm.
and that's what they want more than anything, to keep people subscribed. And Sony sees this, and now they're going to do the same thing they always do. The same thing they did with when they when they had online gaming after Microsoft and Sega did it first, or when they copied play PlayStation Move based off the Wii motion control. They're just going to fall in line and follow suit with what the real true innovators Microsoft are doing. So, Hebot, after my long introduction, I want to hear your thoughts on this, my friend. What are your thoughts on Sony officially today announced? Well, officially, the news has broke that their streaming service is their quote unquote version of Xbox that I've been calling the Xbox ripoff, Game Pass ripoff. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's so many layers to that. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they're
You
tons.
can't just say one thing and just do it. You know, how can you say it? How can you say you can't just compare it number for number? You get what I'm trying to say?
Right, right.
Um, it's only a matter of time because what people don't understand that the reason why, okay, Microsoft, for example, and
Hmm.
subscription service are working so well and had to come up with something of this nature or of this caliber is because the gaming industry was at a point which people tend to forget, but the gaming industry was at a point that it was not doing well.
Right.
If you guys remember when Microsoft said, or Phil was saying, he was saying that single player games that single player games weren't doing well,
Right.
and that they weren't sustainable enough, and they were like, oh, you crazy, and then the whole narrative changed as soon as the PlayStation became the narrative game box last generation, right?
Yeah.
But like I tell people, the reason why that happened is because it's everyone always wants to change their tone and
Hmm.
follow when things when they're popular, right?
Exactly.
Since last generation, it was cool to to follow PlayStation because and the whole thing is, oh, look, they got single player games and all their games do well, but the truth behind that is that no, they weren't. They sold well in their initial release and gave you a number, but then they would drop down in price very quickly because
Yep.
the sales would plateau, right?
Yeah.
And then they would go down to like 40, then it would be 30, then it would be 10 or 20, and then it dropped down to
Hmm.
$10. Like what
Yep.
they did with Spider-Man, right? Give you
Yeah.
a perfect
Perfect
example, right?
example.
With Spider-Man. Spider-Man sold 3.3 million units the first month in September, right?
Right.
Then when you go and look at the sales charts for October, it fell down from number one in September, right, to
Hmm.
number eight, all the way down to number eight,
Right.
right? Then if you go look at November, it wasn't in the charts at all. And that was because in November, what they did was they gave it away in the bundle,
Hmm.
right? They gave it away in the bundle for Black Friday with the $200 bundle,
Yeah. I
which
remember. I remember.
which that bundle, according to them, remember, was the biggest Black Friday ever because
Yep.
it was $200 for a PS4.
Yep.
That bundle sold 6 million units.
I remember. I,
So that means they jumped from the probably 4 million that it had for the first 2 months
hmm
to another 6 million, which brought it up to 10 million, right? And they
Yeah.
automatically, associated that with, oh my God, this game's so tremendous. The reason why they counted it was because it was physical copies. Because if you
Yep.
remember, all last generation, when Microsoft did any bundles with games, they were all digital copies.
Digital. Yep.
Because at that point, they weren't counting digital sales for most games and most outlets.
Right.
Okay? They didn't even count outlets like, let's say, Walmart in some cases, and even Costco's when it came to sales on monthly sales. When they put up those monthly sales, through when they show the monthly sales for games, they're like, oh yeah, this sold this much this month, this game sold that much. They weren't counting a lot of stuff, especially with the digital. Now, this
Mm.
generation, they're counting the digital because they see that the digital market equates to more sales than anything, right?
Yeah.
It's about 70% of the
Yeah.
market, right? So it's the same thing that they tried to pull, and they were like, oh no, because it has 10 million unit copies out there because they were physical. Because of that number, because they were physical, they tried to say, oh, that's how many copies it sold. No, because it was given out for free. If
Right.
you're giving out a game for free, that means they didn't buy it. So there was no profits based off that game. And then when you go back to December of that month of that year,
Hmm.
Spider-Man wasn't on the charts. It
Right.
wasn't on the charts in January, in February, and in March. When did it go back in the charts? In April. But do you know why it went back in the charts in April? And
That's
you
when it
could
went to
and
$20.
you guys can all look this up. It went back in the charts in April because that's when it dropped to $40,
Oh,
right?
40.
Then if it was in the charts that month, then it was off the charts in May, and then it went back when it went back to June. It went back in the charts because for that E3 that year,
Right.
they dropped the game sale. It was on sale for literally $20. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how they obtained those higher numbers with Horizon. Same thing when they bundled it up with God of War and even Uncharted. But they try to sell it as, oh my God, these games sold so many because people are buying it. No, because if you look at the numbers, even now, the PlayStation dudes ain't buying their exclusives.
Nope.
You
I,
saw what was the number one game on the chart? It was
yeah.
fucking Fortnite.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's a free to
Exactly.
play. It's a
Exactly.
free to play. And Fortnite was their number one game last generation because it was a free to play. You see? And
Right.
so they try to mask that. Like Sony's been doing this for years. They try to mask these things and these sales. It was like when last generation when they gave themselves away also with the freaking when they said we
500
sold
million.
there when they did the commemorative console, we
Yeah. The
sold
500
500 million
million.
units,
Yeah.
million consoles lifetime, right? And then when they inducted them into the Guinness World Record, it was
Yeah.
only
Four
450
something.
units.
Yeah.
Like, so what happened to the other 50 million consoles? They just disappeared? Like, what? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why when and I even did a video on it talking about it, and people didn't pay no attention. Obviously, they don't because they don't like the fact that I call it out all the time. I called out the BS because that's what I do. I call out the bullshit from the Sony side and even the Nintendo side because people don't do it. People
Nope.
don't do it because they know it doesn't bring views. They know it's not going to get them subscribers. They know that people are going to keep flooding their fucking, their timeline. So they do the complete opposite because they know that that's not going to help them. And all they want is, oh, I want viewership. I want this. I want that. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't care because I do this for the love of gaming. But since the inception of Sony, and I've told people throughout the years, and every time I ask the question, every time they say they never can give me an answer. All I hear is crickets. I'm like, what has Sony done for innovation for this industry in general? Period. And their answer is always, they don't know. The only answer I got one time from Porter Rock was, oh, they brought in all the casuals. Okay, they brought in the casuals, but what has the casuals done for the market? They've turned it into a cesspool of toxicity because these are the guys that are the most vocal that want to talk about gaming, like they know what the hell they're talking about, and they have no clue.
Yep.
They're the ones that want to tell a person like myself or like E-Rock, for example, that have been gaming since 79 and 76, that we've been the whole time through the whole ride, the whole growth of the industry, and tell us that we're not gamers, that we don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
When
I
I
see
was gaming,
exactly.
when I was gaming before there were even a thought with it, before they were even born. And you're gonna call me a non-gamer or I'm not a real gamer. Like, are you serious? So that's why I said this is not nothing unexpected. And Sony, the industry right now is very different. It's not like it used to be. You can't rely on making money the old-fashioned way
Exactly.
anymore because games cost way too much money in comparison to what they did before.
Yeah.
So they have a lot more to lose. That's why you saw so many developers shut down. So if a company makes a game that costs them $30 million and it doesn't sell by the first month, more than likely for them, or the likelihood of them making either a sequel or another game is probably zero to none, right? Unless they get published by another company, and that company obviously gives them money, um, and funds the next project, and they can go from there, make another game some way somehow. Why do you think Remedy keeps jumping from place to place? Because they don't want to be owned, but they want to keep getting money from people.
Yeah.
And now they're a public trade owned company where they're owned by multiple people investing in them, and they have like 1,800 different projects and games supposedly in the works, and none of them have come out yet because Crossfire X is supposed to be out. We're already in December, and they haven't even announced that it's delayed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that, so the whole idea, because even Nintendo is doing it with the trying to give a subscription base now.
Mm.
The only way I can see this working in Sony's favor is if this in any way, shape, or form is going to be used or constructed under the technology, right? That Microsoft and has provided with them with the partnership that they did as
That's
far as
right.
the cloud gaming service,
I
right?
forgot about that. You're spot on.
That's the only way that I can truthfully see it being a success, because at least you'll know that the streaming service will be quality, right? Or it won't probably even be a streaming service. It'll probably be, you know, off servers, and it'll work, you know, in a really good way.
Right.
So then the next step will all be based on, so what types of titles are going to put in there. So the other question would be, are they going to make deals with third party to put games on there day and day? Then it's going to become the war of between Microsoft and Sony of who can make a deal first to put a game first on their subscription service. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Which almost works out as exclusives. So it's the same thing all over again. The only difference is going to be is, well, who's going to be able to dish out enough money or go talk to some people first to put the next, I don't know, Activision game, or maybe Activision is not a good example because they're in a bad place right now, but the next Take Two game, right?
Right.
Or the next Rockstar game on Game Pass or the Sony Pass before Microsoft gets to them or before Sony gets to them. It's still
Right.
going to be like having an exclusive deal.
Oh, well, looks like he bot dropped. You, Tuck, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Hey, before I introduce you, looks like he bot dropped, man. He was preaching, and they're like, oh, we can't have that. They cut him off. Hey, Tuck, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
Hey,
real
man.
good.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. Before you introduce yourself, I just wanted to get you catch up. You saw the news about PlayStation copying Xbox with their own version of Game Pass coming out next spring, right?
Right.
Yeah. So hey man, go ahead and introduce yourself. Hold on. Well, first of all, let me get a shout out to KTJ Gaming and Sega Man. Thank you both for joining me, and subscribe to both of them. They both do excellent content, especially Sega Man. All right, he bought his back. Hey, he bought. But before,
Can you
hey,
hear me? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear me?
hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Hey, I'm gonna let Tuck introduce himself and gives his thoughts real quick. Then I'm gonna let you jump back into it. So Tuck Master, introduce yourself, my man.
Hey, everybody, this is your boy DJ Master, the original Pony Killer. And I do mean the original Pony Killer because I cannot stand Sony at all.
Yep.
I don't like them, never will like them. I don't like what they're doing.
Never
I know
change.
they copying off the best bot and the best system in the whole wide world, and that's it. That's Microsoft.
Yep.
And what they doing is wrong. And hey, who? But think about it, we all knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
We all knew it was going to happen. They don't have no choice. They got to make that money.
Exactly.
You got to make your investors happy. If you don't make your investors happy, oh, they can be very very unhappy.
Yep.
Especially coming to the close of the new year. But no, but let me ask you this: what did you say that Puerto Rock said about Sony being innovative?
Well, let me finish saying what I was saying first. I think I got cut off.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah. You dropped.
what I was trying to say is that that I've always asked, Sony fans the question, well, what has Sony done for innovation to move the gaming industry forward in any way as far as evolving gaming? And because they haven't even really invented technology that moved gaming forward in any way, shape, or form. And the only answer I got one time was from Poor Rock, where he said, well, they brought in the casual market and made gaming more mainstream. And I said, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, they brought in the most toxic, successful community, because most of these guys that are casuals, they all want to act and talk as if they know more than the ones that've been here from the very beginning, that actually grew the industry, right? And show no respect. Like for somebody like myself, and then tell me, or like E-Rock, and then say, oh, you guys ain't gamers, you guys are old farts, and you this, you that. That's the type of people they brought in. So yes, it's good because a lot more people play games, but at the same time, it's not good because the people that are coming in are just playing games but don't respect the culture for what it is and where it started, and have no clue. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's what
Yeah,
I was trying to.
I see what you're trying to say.
That's what I was trying to explain to Unlimited when he asked the question. Now, what I was saying also before I dropped was that the biggest difference now is that when they acquire an exclusivity, right?
Hmm.
It's not about is it going to sell or how much it's going to sell anymore, because the engagement is what makes it uh uh the
Attractive.
well, it's going to make the probability of the game being more successful a lot more probable of it being successful. You get what I'm trying to say? Because
Right.
you're playing the game now on a subscription service via a service like Game Pass, or let's say the Sony Pass, with no risk, because this is what's making it so accessible. There's no risk involved, because when you're playing a game that you don't have to buy day one for $70 at no risk, then you don't have to worry about if you're wasting your money on something you don't like. So now the games are going to have way more engagement, because more people are going to come in with curiously to see, so what's this game about? What does it have to offer? You get what I'm trying to say? And it's going to have more engagement right off the hip. So in that sense, it's going to be um, more games are going to find success in that sense, right? Because automatically by default, it's not going to be about, well, how many copies of the game is going to sell. It's how many people are going to play it, and because it's in a subscription service, they're going to play the game. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no risk. That's the difference with them doing exclusive deals with third party through a subscription service, which is going to be still good and healthy for the industry. But that makes perfect sense for somebody like Sony to do and adapt. And in the long run, they're going to have to put their exclusive as well, because then people are going to be like, well, why can't we play our exclusives and we have to buy them for us day and day, and other people don't have to in their consoles? You see what I'm saying? Because they're
Yeah.
not going to just sit back and keep on having well, Xbox, you could play all especially if they're playing on both ecosystems, right? Even though, let's say, the Sony ecosystem may be their preferred ecosystem, but they're playing on both of them, right? And they see that Microsoft is giving them Game Pass, the subscription with day and day exclusives. Meanwhile, in Sony, you got to wait a year to get the exclusives. You got to buy them day and day. They're gonna be like, well, what's the point? Or if they're getting, let's say,
Yeah,
exclusives, let's say if they're getting exclusive day and day of a third party, but yet they can't get an exclusives of their own, you know, uh, company themselves from their own developers. You know what I mean? So at some point they're gonna have to be like, oh, well, we're gonna have to put our exclusive day and date for the for the fan base. And I said this so long ago. I said it's just a matter of time. And the majority of people were just like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. They're not gonna do that. It's the welfare pass. It's like like they used to tell Sega Man all the time on his
Yeah.
on on they would be like, oh, it's the welfare pass. Don't nobody want that. The only reason Microsoft is doing it because they really thought that Microsoft did that just because
they're broke or
game
something, or nobody was
or
buying their
right or
game.
because their games weren't selling. And to an extent, like I tell people, yeah, Microsoft realized that games that deserve to sell, like a Rise, like a Sunset, and like a Quantum Break, were not getting enough attention when they're under the restriction of having to buy it day and date, especially if they're new IPs, because people don't like taking risk on these new IPs.
Yeah, exactly.
They're more adamant to spending the money a lot faster than they would be with something that's already well known and established. You see, that's
Like
why
always.
that's why most of the time you see that the Assassin's Creeds, the Far Cries, or the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and the Gears and the Halos are the games that do well and that always do
Yep.
well
Yep.
because they're established, they're well known. But like any franchise, right?
Right.
It has to start from somewhere. But the biggest difference, like I said, before back in the day, it was easier to make a brand new IP and not have to worry about, well, is it going to sell or is it not going to sell? Why? Because the cost was just way, way more inexpensive and cheaper in comparison to now. Now these games are way more sophisticated. The technology is way more, elaborate to deal with. So it's way more money involved. So they can't take a chance and make a brand new IP, right? Make a brand new IP and spend, let's say, $120 million, and then the game ends up selling only like, let's say, 2 million copies. You see what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
They can't take that risk.
Hey,
But with the subscription, yes, go ahead.
Ebot, 1 second. Sorry to cut you off, but let me get
Sure,
my thoughts out real quick. Um,
sure.
First of all, I can admit when I was wrong. I didn't think I knew that they're going to do a Game Pass eventually. That was obvious. I didn't think it was going to be this soon though.
This fast, yeah,
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 and so
yeah.
that and I said in my video earlier, yeah, I was wrong on that. I did not think it was coming out this fast. That it's going to be next spring. And
Well, I mean,
what's up, J Rock?
I go ahead. Go
1 second, Ebot. Sorry to cut you off, but what's
No,
up,
no, no,
J
no,
Rock?
no.
Bucky64, you're right. It is going to be a poor man's Game Pass. And Pixel Bit, you are absolutely right, man. Those Sony stands got the knee pads on deck. Oh man, I love it, man. I got some excellent commenters and people who be coming to these streams. All right, you could continue, Hebot.
Yeah. No, it's like look. When the minute that they saw that Microsoft was having so much success, not really probably with the money, right? Because they haven't really they haven't really they haven't really given that type of information as far as the money goes, right? But as far as the engagement, as far as the growth, where they saw that Sea of Thieves has grown to like 25 million players.
Yeah.
That State of Decay had 15 million players. All those games that they were calling them the snooze fest, right? That fucking and that freaking now you got something like Forza day and date, and even before that, hitting 10 million players in just a week, right? They see that engagement. So since they see that, they're like, and they know, obviously, since they keep bringing out more DLC and stuff like that, the only way you can do that is if it's making money, right? Because that's development time. When they create content, it's development time. So obviously, they have to be making some kind of money, but if they weren't,
well, Hebot.
Go ahead.
Look, I know Microsoft don't make everything public, but common sense. Every studio they acquired have grown. Even ones like Ninja Theory who moved into new buildings and all that stuff in exile.
Yep.
Games like State of Decay 2 getting sequels, the State of Decay 3 coming out
Yes.
whenever it's ready. All the signs are there that and this one. How can I forget this one? They literally made the money on the Bethesda deal in 1 quarter. You know,
Yes.
you don't need you. Look, understand having their financial numbers public make it easy to but just use basic common sense to see that this is
Right, right, right. That's what I'm saying. Plus, also the fact that guess what? The Xbox division, it jumped from being like maybe 150 billion dollars in the start of last generation, let's say, right? And now it's worth like 650 billion dollars.
yeah,
Obviously, it ain't making that kind of money. It ain't for a reason. You see what I'm saying?
exactly.
So they know that whether Microsoft discloses those numbers or not, that the numbers have to be there, right?
Right.
Because
Exactly.
people look at Fortnite, for Christ's sakes. Fortnite, they keep buying the micros, because they got people attached to the idea of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep on coming. And it's like a drug. They're addicted
Yep.
because gaming is very addictive, especially when you're younger kids and they keep buying shit. They don't even tell their parents, how to use their credit card. God forbid, I don't want no kids doing that. But you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man. Yeah, I
And
understand.
it's like a drug. And these guys are like, yo, we sitting here while Microsoft is just smacking and said we could make this money also. You know what I mean?
Well, what Sony game has had 10 million players in 1 day? I mean,
Well,
in
that's
1 week. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, think about it. They know they have their audience. They can have their fan base beyond Gran Turismo with engagement all the time, buying micros because they love the Gran Turismo franchise. They can have the
Right.
same thing with their sports franchise. They can have the same thing with their God of Wars or their Uncharted if they have multiplayer as well. They
Right.
know that because they have their fan base. And there's nothing wrong with that. This fair game. Shit. If it works for Microsoft, it can work for anybody. It's fair game. But
Well,
the sad part,
another thing too, y'all. Another thing too, you gotta look at this. They fan base want multiplayer in some of these single player games.
Yeah.
Don't let it
absolutely,
get big twisted.
absolutely,
Don't
they
get me
won't. They
wrong.
won't admit it though. They won't admit it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
No,
they'll
yeah.
they
say, "All
won't
right, we
admit
don't,
it.
we don't, we don't need that." But the minute they have it, I guarantee you're gonna see them talk about all these big astronomical numbers of people engaging in it. Because
Yep.
people say
Well,
they don't want things. You know what it is with the Sony fan base stuff? I'm gonna tell you what it is. The Sony fan base, because they've taken so many L's and look stupid in so many areas, they will not admit that they're wrong because their ego is so big, or
so
they refuse to admit they lost because they think that somehow makes them look worse, or like that makes them look least manly. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but they feel like, oh no, we conceded. Then that means Microsoft and their Xbox fans won because
Right.
it's all about their ego. That's all it is. Because especially at all this time they've been like, oh, Microsoft sucks. I got no games. Xbox is the welfare pass. Y'all niggas don't make no money. Yeah, this, yeah. And now they know it was all wrong.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they just can't admit it. They won't. You'll have a few, because you see a few out there that have admitted, but what makes it bad is that they've only admitted it because they want to keep people following them and they want to keep making money on their
Mhm.
channels. Not because they genuinely saying it from the heart. You might have a few, but not as many. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and to be honest, this is good for everybody. If Sony's doing this for their fans, this is good for them. They should be excited. Um,
Well,
will it be
I
as,
mean,
as good and as big as Microsoft's Game Pass? More likely, no, because they don't have the money that Microsoft has.
the
But
problem though,
yes, go ahead.
the problem though is that this is just next level hypocrisy. Because now I'm seeing them praise
Oh yeah,
subscription service, Game Pass killer, and this, and that,
oh yeah.
and and it's, but it's like I've said it when I got pushed back on Xbox fans bragging about review Metacritic scores and stuff, and I'm gonna say it here. You can't for years say that subscription service is garbage. I'd rather pay $70 then rent games, this and that, and then instantly he bought and Tuck. Instantly, the moment Sony news breaks of Sony's doing the same thing Microsoft does. Oh, this is wonderful. Game Pass killer. I can't wait till it. You just can't do that, man.
Because they said that because they had no options.
Yeah, exactly.
And their whole argument behind it was right. They did because their whole argument was, oh, there's no way that developers are making money if you're not buying games at $70 a pop. And since Microsoft has proven that's not true, and developers have come out and said it, now they can't say that. You see what I'm saying? So right. Of course the hypocrisy is going to change now because now they're like, oh look, we're going to get a Game Pass, and instead of being, oh, this is great, now they're like, it's going to be the Game Pass killer. Now, are you really think, people, that the company that has way more money is going not to be able to outshine a service from a company with less money, where they can't pay out and dish out the type of money that they do to developers and to buy exclusivities and stuff like that? The only thing that Sony gets that will always outshine Xbox in any way, shape, or form is love from the Japanese developers, because the Japanese developers stick with their own kind. They're nationalistic. 90% of the time.
Hey, we got
okay?
So. Yeah.
So, what did Microsoft do? Okay, we got to make this work in our favor. Mm-hmm. We got to start following developers that are stick with us, the Americans, the American console. And that's what they did. That's why you see them talking with people like Blizzard. That's why you see ramblings of them possibly talking to EA, because they're trying to follow American companies that will follow them because they're an American console and that will not have a problem developing for them. Because, again, the Japanese is all tradition. This is all tradition. When we say the nationalistic, I'm not saying nationalistic because we're being racist. This is a tradition from Japan itself, as far as people, their culture, the way they carry themselves, the way they've done things for centuries. Not years, centuries.
Let me give an example. Let me give an example, right? So you remember Sega. Let's use Sega as an example. When they started making games multi-plat, they originally had to deal with the OG Xbox, but by the 360, they were for a lot of those games. They were primarily developing for the PS3 first, and then porting to 360 with their games, Sonic 06 and other games during that time. Now, because the 360 was so huge, things kind of shift, but they were the same Sega that was put through hell thanks to Sony was the same one that was going to prioritize Sony on their multi-plat games.
Oh,
if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know. I mean, we could do millions of examples, but that's just one off the top of my head.
Well, look at Yu Suzuki. He had a problem putting Shenmue on the Xbox, but he didn't have a problem putting it on PS4, and Shenmue 3 didn't sell.
Yeah. I mean, that game died instantly,
Hello?
I mean, it died instantly.
When I have records of Phil Spencer saying, long ago, the community on Xbox has been asking for Shenmue 3 for years. And I have that still in my that from that interview he did in my possession. Okay. Which I could show to anybody on Twitter or Instagram. Okay. And Shenmue and Yu Suzuki said, what? Fuck you. You're not American? I'm Japanese, I'm sticking with us. Right? They didn't care. And what happened to Shenmue? Dead on arrival. It's bad enough they made him look bad, making it seem like they were going to fund the game, and fucking Yoshida gave him $25 for the game.
Right. Yeah. Hey, give me a second, Hebot, because on my show, I like to interact with the chat a bit. And,
sure.
And Pixelbit G said, Microsoft on the low has bigger games with much more longevity. God of War was a 40-hour game to platinum, which, platinum, for those who don't know, pretty much means you do 100% it in the same way you would with achievement. Games like Skyrim take over 100 hours. And yeah, spot on. I mean, if it's so clear Xbox games have longevity. That's why Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 two games from 2018 are still being supported. Forza Horizon, millions of players in Halo is going to keep people playing for next 5 years. So yeah, spot on that pixel bit.
So,
I mean,
like
you
I
gotta
said,
look at this, y'all. You
What's
gotta
up?
look at this. People still playing the same old Halo.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, so and when these PlayStation talking about it's gonna be the Game Pass killer, man, please. How long has Game Pass been doing this?
it's
What, 3 years now?
six. No, it's about 6 years. It came out what 2020 was it 2016? I think so. 5 years.
So what made you think that they gonna, man? I mean, I just don't want them to start doing the hypocrisy again.
So
At
that's
all.
just that is
They're
just
all,
the place.
PlayStation #1 and all that stuff.
That's
Don't
just
start that
the
again.
That's the PlayStation fan base doing what they always do.
Yeah, I know.
They cannot accept the fact that Sony is not dominating the market. They just can't. No one's saying that Microsoft is dominating the market by themselves in every aspect. No,
Exactly.
Sony's dominating. No, Sony's dominating still in sales, and Microsoft is dominating in perception and the value for the gamer and the consumer.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to give props where it is and then props where it belongs. No, they want all of it because they're so scared that they think Microsoft is going to kill Sony and they're never going to be back and that they will never have their presence Sony anymore. Microsoft wouldn't even do that because they're too classy and they're too worried about saving everybody. I think if Sony was going bankrupt, they would give them money to try to help them save them. Okay?
Yeah, I think they would too.
Because that's the type of company Microsoft is. They're just like that. They don't care about Sony being here, not being here. They'll probably help them to save them because they've done it in the past. So,
Yeah.
again, it's just, look, that's just that childish and ignorant mentality. You're supposed to embrace it for what it is. But even when it's not even out, because they're giving you an estimation, and that could be pushed back another year. We don't know. Because by this time next year, be like, oh, no, it's not ready yet. Because it's happened. Yeah. But again, the only way I can see it being successful is if they're using it under the deal that they made with Microsoft, which guess what? At the end of the day, if they're doing it with cloud gaming, right, or the cloud Azure servers, that means Microsoft is making money out of every Sony fan.
Yep.
That buys that supports it. So at the end of the day, you're not going to take away the giant that's providing the technology because it takes years, like Unlimited said, and others, years to get. Microsoft didn't do this overnight. It took them 20 years to get to where they are as far as online, as far as the servicers, as far as what they're doing cloud gaming. They've been talking about this for over 10 years.
Yeah.
It took years. And Sony is just now trying to adapt, and so is Nintendo, because they see that it's working. The market has shifted. Gaming is different as a whole. You see? So they have to do that. Yeah, so exactly. there's no denying,
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, geez, I remember when people were saying the cloud was fake and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand, right? Like most people go, give you an example. Most people go, oh my God, Crackdown 3 was such a lie, right? And I go, how? Oh, look at what they presented versus what you got. I was like, that everything that's presented to you is an idea of what they're trying to achieve, right?
Right.
And that achievement is their goal, what they're trying to aim for, which they very much did. But the reality of the situation is it's still in its infancy, very new, never been used in that way, form, or shape to create something so grand in scale with a brand new technology that they barely know how to use. So it's like in the beginning stages of when they started Xbox Live. When you look at Xbox Live back when it started, it was so rudimentary compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
But look how it is now. So with the success of and the practices of using that technology through the years, cloud gaming is not only going to be a reality, it's going to blow our fucking minds with what they're going to be able to achieve. You see? So I look as Crackdown as the birth of what they're doing for the future. And because it's the birth, just on those standards alone, you have to give it its props and respect. You see? I never looked at Crackdown as a non-success. No, it is a success because it was the stepping stone and stepping grounds for what they're going to try to achieve and what more than likely will achieve in the future with other projects.
Yeah.
And it may not be even called cloud gaming at that point. It might be called something else. But we're going to know it's part of what cloud gaming and the idea came from, the structure of what they were trying to achieve. And that's the whole gist of it. It's like I saw a video by Dark Doc. I forget the numbers. He's Puerto Rock's brother. Cool guy. Xbox guy, but more casual. We don't really know a lot of the history and stuff like that, but he's a good dude. His intentions are, he means well, right? Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how he still don't give Microsoft a pass as far as saying the most powerful console, right? With Xbox Series X and what they were going to achieve, that all gaming was going to be at 1440 at 120 frames. And I said, what they promised and what the console do was they promised us that the console was capable of doing these things with games, which it has and it does. They never said it was going to be every single game. Okay? They never said that every single game was going to run at 4K, 8K, 120 frames per second. No. Obviously, it's a game-by-game basis, depending on how big the scale it is, how graphically intense it is. Plus, the other factor is that most people don't want to understand all the Xbox dev kits and all the games that you saw on Xbox done to this point were all done on the premature dev kits because they had the technology that AMD had created with them that they were still not able to discuss and they were still not able to tap into because it was under NDA, non-disclosure agreements. So if you go and say that and give access to that to developers ahead of time, Microsoft could have gotten sued up the wazoo by AMD, and it would have been a travesty, and they could have damn well been closed down because it would have been that big of a lawsuit. Because you're talking about another giant in the gaming industry and the technology space that makes hardware, and that particularly makes hardware for them and their console, which is AMD, right? So of course you haven't seen the potential and power yet of the Xbox. That we'll start to see once games like the Forza Tech games start coming out, the next one, and Fable, and the next Hellblade, where they're going to be able to utilize Unreal Engine 5, DirectX 12 Ultimate, all these things that are being able to be utilized that are in the Xbox Series X as well, but haven't been tapped into yet because the availability wasn't there for developers due to those non-disclosure agreements. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I told him in his comment, no, that's not how that works. Because he said, oh, I don't want to hear it. It's still a lie. No, it's not a lie because there's layers and levels, like he says, to things. And these things you have to bring them into accountability. You have to bring them up because the little details do matter, even though people try to brush them off. No, they matter. Because you can't just say, oh, the PS5 is achieving the same thing when there's a reason why that's happening right now. And they don't, and like when they say, oh, like Call of Duty is running better on the PlayStation. Of course it is. Because Activision has a fucking goddamn marketing deal with them. What do you think? Activision is going to really make it better on the Xbox when it's not doing a marketing deal with Sony and they paid for it? Not that. Because they got paid for it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So clearly they don't do that. They have to make sure that they give the advantage to the one that has the marketing deal with them. That's a given. That's a given. That is a given. That's why you see that Battlefield, for example, it's got, because I don't think it has a marketing deal with either one, right? I'm not even sure.
Yeah. It might with Xbox. Because it was on their E3.
Hey, y'all, I tell you right now what I am impressed with Xbox is doing right now.
Uh-huh.
Man, you can go to any one of these, like you can go to GameStop, you can go to Best Buy. And I mean, I know the Xbox Series S is selling good, but I guarantee you right now, the Xbox Series X is selling pretty good now too. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because I told Hebot how I got my newest one.
Mm-hmm.
They open the doors. Best Buy has opened the doors. In other words, if you don't want to get on the EA, on the Xbox All Access program, you can.
Right.
And they, like I said, because like this time last week, I was shopping for one, and I went to the one on I-240 in Oklahoma City. They didn't have none. I mean, they, in other words, they let you just ship so many, and that's it. I went to the one in the Moore store in Oklahoma City. They said 6 days. You got 6 days. It comes in 6 days. So they're opening the doors for the program. They're opening door for the program because the program, it wouldn't be no surprise if you see a lot of the programs, for the Xbox Series X really do good. I love it because Hebot was telling me everything what I need to know. And then once he told me that,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it's like what I love so much about it is that, I called Microsoft the other doggone day when you told me to, and they said what I can do, I can wait until my prescription is about to run up next year, and then I hit that button. And then I hit that button. Because you got like an expiry date when it expired, and mine won't expire until like 7/23 to the 7th month. 10/23, 10 something of 1920 of 2023. So at the end of the year, when my prescription about to run out, I hit that button, and there go my 2 years of off the access. So in other words, I don't have nothing to worry about. Dude, Microsoft really got it going on with this thing. I like the way they got the program pushed out and everything. I already got it set up where when I do get my first bill, that I'm gonna pay on my first bill. Then after that, I'm gonna get it deducted on my check every 2 weeks after that.
Right.
Right. What Chuck is talking about is the Xbox All Access.
Oh man, it's great.
He was able to access and acquire another Series X that he needed through Xbox All Access, and then
Right.
Chuck already has Game Pass and Xbox Live, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, for until 2023, the beginning of 2023, and so he has another additional 2 years that they gave him with the Xbox All Access. They give you 2 years of Game Pass and 2 years of Xbox Live. So once that expires, that Xbox Game Pass that he has is going to kick in, and it's going to extend it for another 2 years, and then it won't expire. That's what he's trying to explain. Because he didn't give all the details.
And y'all can't beat it. You can't
Yeah,
beat it.
no.
Yeah,
of course
can't beat it at all.
And you're only paying $37 a month.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not bad.
And you can pay it off anytime when you want to.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And you get no interest during that whole 2 years that you're paying it.
That's right.
Now that's what's up. Let me jump to the comments real quick.
Sure.
Pixel Bit. The SDK wasn't actually ready, plus mesh shaders and SFF changed the development pipeline.
That's right, with the mesh shaders as well.
What I mean by we got some smart commenters on this channel. Once they update their engines, it will be a different story. Yeah,
absolutely,
exactly.
Absolutely. But we know this, Pixel Gate. Like the people that really are Xbox fans, right? That pay attention. We know this. But the media, even the media, tries to act like they don't know this. Yeah. They just like Digital Foundry.
Yeah.
Digital Foundry knows this, but you think that Digital Foundry has the integrity or the respectability as a so-called professional gaming outlet of technology or speaking about tech to explain this to the audience? No, they don't do that. They make it seem to their casual audience, because most of their audience are either PlayStation fans or PC guys. Like
Yep.
if, literally the PS5 is outdoing or keeping up the pace with the Xbox. That's
Which
literally how they make it
Which
seem
that's
like.
a yeah, which is such a fallacy because
Mm-hmm,
this is what I see. Most games
mm-hmm,
by a large margin run better on Xbox. Hell, the
mm-hmm,
Xbox Series S has 3 times more 120 frames per second games than PS5.
mm-hmm,
And then the few games that do run better on PS4, they prop it up and then
mm-hmm.
they pretend that that's the real standard when it's
Well,
not.
that's what I meant, my brother. With the Call of Duty, they know why it is, but they don't say it that way because they're not. It doesn't work in their interest because one of their biggest sponsors, as a matter of fact, their whole inception was
Mhm.
because of Eurogamer, and Eurogamer
Right,
has a really tight knit relationship with Sony. They really
right,
it's all about business, right? But the problem that also transpires from this is that most casuals are watching Digital Foundry
right.
because not a lot of people are doing the technology of side of it with the comparisons, with the frame rates, right? With the shaders, with the ray tracing tech. Not too many places even talk about it, with the
Right.
exception of the Rosario brothers and VG
Mhm.
Tech, right?
Right.
And VG Tech doesn't really talk. He just shows the comparison and the resolutions and stuff like that. He doesn't
Yeah.
explain the details, right? Just like Digital Foundry didn't used to do during the 360 era. They never talked.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just
that's
showed
right. They
videos,
just showed the
right?
video.
But they started talking when they saw it was working in their favor and of Sony, and they was getting them subscriptions and it was getting the viewerships. So they started doing all this other shit that everybody else was doing, like they do podcasts now, for Christ's sakes.
No, I didn't even know that.
Now they do a weekly podcast talking shit about what's going on in the week when everybody started that last gen, right? So Pixel Count, the gentleman in the comment, he's absolutely right. But that's what I'm talking about. No one does it. Not IGN, not Digital Foundry. No one does it. And if they're professionals, right? And if they're so-called, you know, level-headed and fair, right? They
Hmm.
would be the first ones to explain. Well, a lot of the reasoning why there's so much disparity still, where you might see the PlayStation 5 having this advantage, is because Microsoft had premature SDKs that were not finalized because they had a deal with MDA that they could not discuss with certain technology until MDA showed this technology with their video cards, which was
Right.
the 970 or the 980, whatever card it was, the number, the last one they did, that is capable of doing up to like 8K and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't discuss that. And they never say it. They never explain the details. They literally make it seem as, oh, yeah, the PS5 is very comparable. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's comparable. And you compare it to the PS4, absolutely.
Right.
You're 1,000% right. But if you want to get really realistic, the Xbox Series S, the little monster that you see, is giving you way more performance features and quality than you're getting even on the PS5.
Man, yeah, the Xbox Series S is just downright amazing. All
You
right,
know
and
what I'm trying to say?
yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Unlimited, that thing is the size of my hand almost. It's small as fuck. I don't even
Yeah.
know how the fuck that little machine is so powerful.
Engineering geniuses at Microsoft.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. You look
It
at that
really is.
thing, and it looks like you can fit it anywhere. It looks like a little shelf book on your bookshelf. It is super small, and
Right.
it runs cool. Doesn't run hot. It doesn't make no kind of noise. Like you would think something running something so like you can't get no computer meshed up in a potato like to run like the way that shit runs without having some type of crazy shit going on. You can't
Right.
get no PC to run like that. It should have been you cause a fire. You see what I'm trying to say? You're
Right.
crazy. Like there's no way that people could downplay that shit. The people that downplay it, they're just being stupid. They don't want to give no credit. There's no fucking way. Okay? There's no way, no way, no way. And people go, well, "Are you so?" Well, they're giving you the boost mode. They're giving you the performance mode. They're giving you accessibility to the four generations of backwards compatibility. They
Yep.
give you the ability to play with all your peripherals going forward. You can use your old peripherals. You have DLI technology, which is direct latency input, which is the best technology this generation that really nobody talks about, like Unlimited
Yeah.
said before, on the controller, which gives you fantastic response in all the games with the latency of as low as like zero point 0.2, something like that, milliseconds.
Mhm.
Um, you're getting the velocity architecture. You're getting the smart delivery. Uh,
Mhm.
what else? You can use an adaptive controller for disabled children, which you can't even do that on a PlayStation. There's no disabled
Yeah.
controller.
Quick
There's
resume, the greatest
listen,
feature
the
that
quick
I can't live
resume.
without.
Exactly. Like there's so many quality of life features on that console. Plus, it's digital for a lot of people that love digital, which is very appealing.
Which I mean, hey,
Um,
most
there's a
video
lot of
games
quality.
still
Yeah,
digital now.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of quality of life features on that console that you're just not getting on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
am I saying raw power that you're gonna get a game like I don't know, let's say like I don't know, how can I say?
Y- You're not going. Yeah,
Okay,
Battlefield.
you're not gonna get a Battlefield to run at 4K 120 or even 60. Yes, you won't. It'll be maybe 900 at 60 frames. Fine, but guess what? You are gonna get auto HDR.
Hmm.
Guess what? You are gonna get Dolby Atmos surround.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
and that
Yeah.
Dolby Atmos is the real deal too.
And those features alone are going to give you a much more
A better
engaging
experience.
experience
Yeah.
than on the PS5. Because although you lose resolution, you still keep performance, sound quality, and HDR. So you're losing resolution, but you're gaining all the other shit that you don't even get on PlayStation because you don't get auto HDR, you don't get Dolby Atmos surround, which is nowhere near. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't care who says try to pull that retarded shit and try to say that the 3D Tempest technology on PS5 can even touch Dolby Atmos. It cannot. Okay, it just can't. Okay.
I
Dolby
mean, did
Atmos is
somebody
the
say
real
that in
deal.
the chat?
No,
No,
no, not in the chat. Just in
people have
general.
tried to say that in general, and even Dolby Atmos themselves came at Mark Cerny and told him on Twitter, and he didn't even answer them. I know you're not implying that your technology is better than ours.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know
that
he was,
shit
cause
was
that's
the
the Sony
funniest
way,
shit ever.
smoking mirrors.
Okay, and you're still getting that on the fucking goddamn console, the S. And guess what,
Yeah,
people? The S supports games, right? That utilize cloud gaming streaming and
yep.
cloud gaming, and it has the also DirectX 12 in the hardware. It supports DX12 games. So long term, you're going to get better quality of life features and better quality of life um, game quality or game details in the game long term and
Yeah.
with certain set games, no matter what.
Yeah, we're only 1 year into the generation, folks. 1 year, and more and more we're starting to see, current gen only games. Starfield next year is only going to be on the Series X and S, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
everything that we're seeing now is just it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the start.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Plus,
and like somebody,
pandemic didn't help the situation.
yeah,
Pandemic
oh yeah,
delayed so
exactly.
much stuff, so
Right.
much stuff. I'm gonna
And
tell you
like,
this. I feel pandemic. I'm sorry. I just want to add to what you're saying before you continue.
right,
Pandemic has added, to be honest with you, maybe another year and a half to the life cycle of this generation. That's what I want to say.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like Radiance 96 said, thank you for joining me. This gen has been so great for Xbox so far, and just L
Mm-hmm,
after L after L for Sony. Exactly.
mm-hmm.
And others saying,
But
thank you for making it in. Hold on, real quick. Yeah, looks like there's some uh boneless bone boneless boner dysfunctional dick.
I
Oh
put something.
Lord,
Yeah, yeah,
he got
yeah,
a
yeah,
wild using name. Um,
yeah.
Yeah, 9 foot UT. Thank you for joining as well. Basically, any game with a somewhat demanding engine runs. Oh, exactly. 9 foot. 9 foot said basically any game with a somewhat demanding engine runs and looks better on the Series X. Far Cry 6, Battlefield 2042, Tales of Arise, Hitman, and so on. Excellent point, 9 foot. What's up, Vodka? Thank you for joining.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but man, you were spot on with that 9 foot. What the series, oh, variable refresh rate. That's right. That's also part of
The
the series
variable refresh rate.
SNE.
That's mhm.
I mean, what's under the hood of these next gen Xbox consoles? It's I think the word that we use here is future proof.
Yeah, yes,
we're
yes,
not even
yes.
seeing the full benefits of
Mhm.
it right now. You know,
Right, right.
I guarantee you, games like Starfield. Look, Phil Spencer said last year before the consoles came out, we're going to see a generational gap. I guarantee a game like Starfield is going to be that generational gap. A game like Avowed, these games that where they don't have to worry about the last gen hardware anymore.
Yes.
Because again, that's 9-year-old.
That's why Unlimited. To
Yeah.
add to what you just said, that's why Phil and Microsoft made sure that they already brought out cloud gaming through streaming.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they did that. Because they know once they go into the actual hardware or the meat of the hardware, right? The iron of the hardware, right? That they're not going to be able to achieve that on the old Xbox One X, and the Xbox X, the One X S rather.
Right.
They're not going to be able to. But if they do it through streaming, then they could do it. Kind of like what they're doing with the Switch, that you could buy Guardians of the Galaxy, but you stream this shit, but you never own the fucking game.
So it's like you can still enjoy the game.
Yes,
Nintendo.
You can still enjoy the game, and that's a good omen. And everything think
but
about
that's
that.
why but Tuck, that's why they're doing it. That's why they did it first. Because the reason why they did that first is to make sure that once games like Starfield come out, that if people that are still stuck in the old Xbox for whatever reason, it could be that they just don't want that they're frugal and they don't like buying consoles that are more expensive, or that maybe they can't afford it. Okay, because there's people that can't afford it. Yeah. They don't feel left out, right? They don't have to feel like, damn, I can't play those new games. Yeah, you can still play it through streaming. It won't be the same experience, obviously, but you can still play them, right? And which you're not gonna be able to do on a PlayStation 5. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, and let me add to that, Heatbot. And this is the brilliance of the current Xbox strategy.
Right,
Look, the days of you got to spend X amount of $100 to play these games only on our box is dead. It's dead in the 4K 60 era, where a game like Cyberpunk had a development cost of $109 million and a marketing budget of $200 million. And if you think Cyberpunk is just a rare occasion, no, that's AAA gaming in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's what it is.
These games are so ridiculously expensive that the days of just only being playable on one dedicated box is dead. And maybe not.
Shit, you think Sony games with all that mocapping that's expensive as fuck, even though they have their own mocapping studio, that they don't, their games have to cost anywhere from 150 to 200 million easily, because they also hire voice actors now, professional voice actors. It's not just any Joe Schmo anymore. Remember that.
Yeah, exactly. Look, marketing budgets are often so huge, they're sometimes
off the charts,
more expensive than the actual development. We're talking about, and look, Jim Ryan, hypocritical ass, months ago said that it's not sustainable to put our $100 million game on a subscription service. That was words out of his mouth, right?
Yeah,
let's focus on that $100 million plus games. And hey, man, thank you for joining, my brother. But it's $100 million plus games on. You hear that? You know how much money that is for a video game, and that only 10 million people have purchased, right? If God of War cost $100 million and only 10 million people bought it, even less at full price, maybe 3 million bought it at full price, $60. The rest bought it at like 20, 10. Black Friday sales or whatever, or used. You know what I'm saying?
I'm following you.
The math adds up to, that ain't sustainable. That's why their games are going to PC. That's why their games are going to be on PC day one eventually as well. But with Xbox, it's like, all right, let's
Please.
not restrict people best we can. Look, technology is always going to move forward, so it's not possible that one day the Xbox One is going to die off. But hey, you know what? Let's make it easy for those who aren't upgrading yet, because there are. We saw this with the 360 going to Xbox One. A lot of people held on to their 360 till like 2016, for Christ's sake, until the Xbox One was $350.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so there are going to be people. There are going to be a section of
A
gamers
lot of
who are
people in
like
the
that.
360 era held back,
Yeah,
based on what you're saying. It's true. They held back because they saw so much negative backlash. They were like, no, the Xbox One's not worth getting. And even though it wasn't true, but
right,
they even held back because of that. Unbelievably so. But it's true. You're right. They
right.
did do that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So the point is, the strategy of Xbox of these games, they understood when Phil Spencer said in 2015, 16, 17, whatever it was years ago. Sometimes this stuff is so long ago, it's hard to remember when it was said. But when he said that engagement is more important than sales, it's better to sell 2 million consoles, and those 2 million people are constantly using our product, buying games and so on, than those
Hmm.
gamers who bought the Xbox but only play it for Call of Duty and that's it.
Right, right.
When he said that years ago, that really was the beginning of the strategy we're seeing now, where they want people engaged in the Xbox as much as possible.
Hmm. Hmm.
They don't want Xbox One users to feel like, all right, I'm not going to play my Xbox because I can't play Starfield. They're trying to make it to where, okay, you don't have the Series X yet, cool. You could play it via cloud. Oh, sweet. Now I can still put my money or put my gaming time, my engagement, my hours, or whatever case is towards Starfield. Awesome. Stuff like that. And and so and so when you just look at like everything as a whole, Sony can't catch up to this. They just can't, because everything we're seeing, the groundwork was started years ago. And with a lot of this stuff, it took so long to get to this point that you can't rush a Sony Game Pass and within next spring, and think it's going to even come close to 2022 Game Pass. That's going to have Stalker 2 and Starfield and all this other benefit they've had. Sony
Hmm.
Sony next year, when they release the Sony Game Pass, it's going to be comparable to 2016 Game Pass. Maybe even not maybe not even that, if we're to be honest. Because they're starting from scratch. They just are.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier before our brother Chuck joined us, which I feel bad because he hasn't really spoken. I don't want to take all the
Yeah.
time speaking, but because I would like to hear, Chuck's also point of view. But that's why I said earlier that it's going to become the war now of what company and developers are going to give exclusive deals for third-party games for these
Yeah.
services for Xbox and Microsoft. That's going to be the brand new exclusives.
And he bought. Let me just say this, man. Everybody, mark today on your calendar, December 3rd, 2021, because when he
Mhm.
bought is proven right. I don't want y'all to call him a liar or none of that shit. All right. I want y'all to remember this date and be like, yeah, he bought said it first. When we're dealing with the with the Game Pass arms race.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that because it's true. Watch, it's gonna become the war of, well, what third-party exclusives is Sony gonna get on their pass before Microsoft gets on Game Pass? That's what it's gonna become about. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's gonna be the new console war of exclusivity. Difference being, like I said, there's not risk involved because they're paying these developers up front, so they're making money, and the engagement is going to be there because there's always going to be people discovering the games. Because as long as it's in that pass, it's going to get discovered. You see what I'm saying? And if
Right.
developers want to be like, no, we want to release day and day on both services, even better. Because now they're getting paid not only by Microsoft, they're getting paid by Sony, and they're getting paid by Nintendo, for Christ's sake, if Nintendo has their own services. So it only makes sense economically for the fruitfulness of the future of gaming. It makes sense, and us gamers should not be mad about it. You should be embracing it. Should be happy. You shouldn't be like, well, fuck Game Pass. It's gonna be all about the Sony Pass. No, motherfucker, you're supposed to be happy and it'd be like, yeah, thank you, Microsoft, for letting these fucking old relics see the future and the light, because now we're gonna benefit from this shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they need to be doing.
Yeah, gaming couldn't be stuck in the fucking PS3 era as much as these dinosaurs want it to be, man.
I mean, it could have stayed stuck if the product and the pricing and the budgeting of gaming would not have changed and inflated the way that it has.
Yeah, but it was going to regardless.
It's going to do exactly
because that's how technology works. The HD era is going to happen. Now the 4K era is here, and if you think the HD era was expensive, the 4K era, 4K is 4 times more than 1080p. You don't think that's gonna add up in the development cost? You're crazy,
dude. There's people they don't even realize that 1080p has been out for over 20 years. 1080i and 1080p existed on the OG Xbox era, and Microsoft was the first one in the forefront to put it in their console. In a console, I'm not saying PC space for all the PC has to come. PC did it first. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about console space. Shit, the OG Xbox, when it came out, was like the Dreamcast. It had technology that was superior than PC at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how ahead of its time it was. People don't even remember that. It had superior hardware than it did on PC.
Hey man, our brother E-Rock has talked about it before. He played on PC for a little while, but got an Xbox because of how powerful it was, and he didn't have to deal with the with the kinks that come with PC gaming.
Right. And people think, oh no, that's a lie. There's no way. You're lying. No, go look it up. It's all public record.
Exactly.
You have something that we never had, which was called the cheat gate. The cheat gate, right?
Right.
Which is Google. It's Google.
Yeah,
so go to Google and look it up. We had to go to actual libraries, read Mad and a whole bunch of magazines, and keep on reading month after month after month. And as a matter of fact, when we got our hands on information, by the time we got it, and they solicited those magazines, it was like 3 months late. Like we were already it already happened like 3 months ago. It was like late. So we were always late to find out the information, right? We grew up in the era where we had to bust our ass to get the information and learn it, compared to you guys. You guys got Google. You can find out in 3 seconds. Go to 3 seconds, look for a certified site that's actually certified with real information, and you'll see it's all public record. Okay? They were hardwares out there. The Dreamcast, when it came out, was more powerful than a lot of PC hardware at the time. Okay? And that's why people were buying and playing games even there, and we're excited because it was evolving really fast, thanks to people like Sega, thanks to companies like Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, that's one of the biggest reasons why we are the way we are today, as far as the standards of video games in consoles and even on PCs, where they're trying to make them be almost on the same playing field or on the same level. Because Phil said, I want my console gamers and my PC gamers to feel on the same level. I want everybody to feel equal. I don't want people to feel more than the other. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole idea over, doing something like the Xbox Series X and doing something like the Xbox One X and things like that. And people just kind of miss that whole information and the reasoning behind all of it. You know what I mean? So the sky's the limit, to be honest. But we have to learn to embrace it. We can't just be like, oh no, there's no good, or jump the gun and assume that it's not going to work or it's going to be trash, because clearly it's not. Like I said, if games would have never been so expensive to produce, and the budget would have never went up, then that would have been different. Then maybe we could have stayed the archaic way in buying games at $60 and $50. But if even you go back as far back as the Neo Geo or even the Panasonic 3DO and the Philips CDI, which were consoles that were $700, $800, and $1,000 respectively, right?
Right.
Games for that, even their cartridges for the Neo Geo were like $250 a game, right? For arcade perfect technology and graphics, because it cost money. The more money you spend, the more money they got to try to make some way, somehow. And that's why with subscription services, it makes a lot of sense, and it's going to work in long term and and in the long run for everybody, not just Microsoft.
Right.
But you don't see Xbox guys being like, "Oh, yeah, we're better because of this." And fuck yeah, we don't see that. We're just embracing that we're doing well, and Microsoft's
Yeah,
doing well, and
exactly.
we're eating good. We're just embracing it.
Well,
These are the dudes that are like, "Oh, fuck
look,
Xbox, fuck the Game Pass," you know?
yeah, look, people, I don't, I don't hate Sony to the extent that say E-Rock does. You know what I'm saying? But
I hate
at the
Sony
same,
pretty much, bad too,
yeah,
but I just don't like
but
saying it.
yeah, no, but my thing is just that I sat back for so long in my years of gaming and just see Sony get pass after pass after pass after pass for doing fucking nothing. All right,
Yeah,
they'll do
yeah.
nothing or the bare minimum, or
Or get the
even
credit
worse.
after they copy somebody
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, giving credit for they or their fan base deliberately affected gaming negatively, like they did with the Dreamcast. A- And it's like at some point, people have to stand up to this nonsense and just keep calling it out. And that's why I'm so relentless on that, in the extent that I'm never going to censor myself or backpedal on something unless I'm proven wrong.
Hmm.
I'm never going to do that because there's there's almost no big voice that's tackling stuff like this at the level. Like, nobody's going to give you the info Keybot did on this show, or nobody's going to be as freaking blatant about it as Tuckmaster is, right?
Right, right.
So
I get what you
yeah, so that's why I feel like people like us are very valued, because there's so many people who just sugarcoat shit, and for some reason, a lot of people in the gaming world are afraid of Sony fans, are afraid to piss them off. But it's like, who cares? The worst they're gonna do is leave a stupid ass comment anyway. I've had comments telling me to kill myself over fucking video games.
saying.
And it's like,
Imagine, right?
yeah, who cares?
That
Yeah,
type of
that has,
mentality you gotta have.
yeah, that has no impact on my well being or my life at all. It's a comment. It's a negative
Hmm.
comment. So what? You know,
Right.
but it's just that, uh, since nobody was tackling this outside of a handful of people, a hand or this part of the Xbox community, it grew into something that's just so awful that you got a situation now where all year people have been laughing at PlayStation fans because of this batshit insane wild stuff they say damn near every day. No.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now the Sony game, now the Sony subscription service is the Game Pass killer. After how long have we heard Tuck, that Game Pass? Nobody wants to rent games and all this shit. You there, Tuck?
Yeah, I hear, I hear it every daggone day at work, man. Every single day. Now since Forza Motorsports came out, they can't get enough of it now.
Yeah.
They can't. This is what it boils down to. Okay. And I know these Sony people are going to turn around and try to eat it up like it ain't candy. Oh, now we getting the Game Pass. Now we're going to be Xbox on all of this. Now we're going to be Microsoft on all of this. Dude, y'all, a long way. You gotta crawl before you walk.
Exactly.
Okay, you gotta crawl before you walk.
Hmm.
And there's no guarantee what Sony's gonna do with this thing. What are they gonna do with it? Had they gave you any word about how it's gonna be set up or anything like that? Because all I'm seeing is
They
tier
did
one,
give like,
tier two, and tier three.
yeah, exactly. That's it.
That's all I'm seeing. What are they talking about? Are they gonna make it where you can turn around and get some of their? Yeah, are they gonna make you pay for some of their exclusive games to be on the Game Pass? You get
Not
what I'm
sure.
saying? That's what I want to know. Because if I'll put it like this, if they do not share any of their exclusive games with their Game Pass service, it's a failure. It would be a total failure. No system even going that route.
Right.
Because Jim Ryan already saying that that they rather. I mean, are they going? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I can understand some of their older games might be on the Game Pass, but they got to put some of their new games on. They got to put some of their new exclusive games on their day one. If this thing going to succeed, if they don't, ain't no system, and there ain't no system even trying to even attempt to do it.
Well, Tuck, I told earlier, Unlimited, they also got to think about this. When these guys, right, that are playing on PlayStation, that the preferred platform is PlayStation, right? But yet they still also play on Xbox, right? When they see that Microsoft and their fan base gets all the love for the exclusives day and day, meanwhile, they're still paying for them day and day. They got to wait a year to get their exclusives in the service. Right. They're going to start to talk and holler back. They're going to be like, well, you know what? No, hell no. That's not fucking right. Why? Why should we have to wait while they get it? You know what I'm saying? There's going to come a breaking point where they're going to be like, nah, enough of that.
We saw that earlier this year with MLB The Show. PS Now has like 2.2 million subs, maybe even less. And what did they say? What did they say when that was day one on Game Pass? Hey, Sony, why isn't this on PlayStation Now as well? A service they didn't even fucking use just to keep up with Xbox.
And just look at this too, fellas. When they put MLB Show on the Game Pass, Major League Baseball said that is as much money as they ever made in years.
Oh yeah,
right. That it did very well.
It was their best selling year they had, and probably ever.
I mean, well, maybe since the first year when they came out, when Major League Baseball came out. I said maybe the first 2 years. I mean, when it came out, they made good money, but you getting the same doggone thing after that. I mean, it's just over and over and over again. So, I'm glad to see what Microsoft is doing, and I mean, I'm very sure. And that what I'm hearing is that Major League Baseball came to Microsoft and asked them to put it on the Game Pass,
right?
So they can see how much money they can make.
Yeah,
they're making money. I mean, they getting money off their download content and off their little cards and all that stuff. Yeah, that's where they're making their money at.
And to add to that, Tuck, the same month that it hit day one on Game Pass, it was also one of the best-selling games on Xbox for the month. It might have even been number one for the month. I could be wrong, but I know it was definitely one of the top-selling games.
And I tell you one thing else too, y'all. I think I'm gonna plug this to you. It's already. I put this, y'all. It already started already. Talking about the when you're gonna see these games take a big transfer over.
Right.
It's already started already. Forza Motor 5 is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen on any game.
Yep.
Any race game. I mean, you cannot compare. I mean, Forza Motorsports 4 to this game. You cannot. Graphically, it's blowing it away.
Yeah,
it's blowing it away. And I hate to see how Halo Intimate how the new Halo game's gonna look.
I can't wait.
It's already starting already. I mean, it's just gonna get better and better and better. And when they bring out Starfield and when they bring out what's the name of one game, Stalker?
Oh yeah, Stalker 2, Red
Oh man.
I mean, those are the games.
And then I want to see how the Gunk's gonna look. I want to see how that game is gonna look.
That's gonna be later this month.
I mean, that comes out on the 10th or the 16th.
Yeah, December 16th.
Yeah. You could already. It's already in the store, but they don't let you download it.
Yeah, I pre-installed it already.
You just can't buy it. You can't buy it to that date.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now. I wonder if they're gonna do the same thing as they did for the Motorsport, let people play Halo Intimate early.
Well, it's already the multiplayer is already playable now.
Right.
But I think the campaign's gonna be only on December 8th.
So, hey, dude, I mean, I'm appreciative of what
That's
Microsoft is doing.
that's literally like 5 days, right? 4 days, something like
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
4 or 5 days from now, and
yeah.
like I said this, I bleed green, I bleed green, and
that.
I
No, you
mean, let
don't,
me tell
Chuck.
you,
No, you don't, Chuck. Stop it.
let me tell you right now, I done got 3 Xbox Series X,
Yeah.
one of my
Hey,
son, 2 in this house.
yeah, that's what's up.
I got one Xbox, the Xbox X. I got 2 of them.
Mm.
Okay, I got one of the little white ones before they came out with Xbox Series X. I got one of them. So let me tell you right now, you little Sony pony faggots, I
Oh my God.
support
Yeah.
my brand.
Chuck, stop it.
I support my brand all the way.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Chuck, you
Don't get
terrible.
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know that's gonna be last of it because my wife, no, she ain't going for that. So, I know that might be it from here on
Yeah.
out. But I'm telling you, man, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing that I cannot say about anything about this unit. This unit is just a special unit.
Right.
I mean, it blows my mind on what this thing can do.
And
And at
Go
the
ahead.
end of the doggone day, y'all, I just bleed green.
all right.
You better believe something.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Hey, can y'all hear me?
Chuck,
Until y'all little Sony people don't
Hey,
even
hello?
play y'all games. So I mean,
oh,
even
Hey,
hey,
can y'all
check this out, y'all. Check that. I want you to hear this. Guarantee you this. Watch this. Even though when they get the Game Pass, even though they get a Game Pass, I bet you they still won't play their games. They won't play the games like Xbox will.
they'll be talking about
oh,
Xbox like they always do.
Because it
oh.
all depends on what games they're going to put on there. Now, if they put these little simple single player experience games on there, man, please, ain't no sense you doing that. Because watch and see, because watch and see. People gonna say, well, I mean, watch and see. If they ain't gonna put like the new Horizon Zero Dawn on there, day one, niggas say, why should we have to buy it? We got, y'all got a Game Pass. Why we gotta buy it?
Nah,
Okay. I mean,
hey,
hey,
can you hear me?
I mean, wasn't it Proof Face Ryan as I call him? He already said that he's not gonna gotta put no exclusives on the game. I mean, day one. Watch and see. But just like you said, Unlimited,
Right.
eventually they're gonna do that. They're gonna have to do it one day in day out. Everybody,
Oh, yeah, no question.
everybody can try to talk all that noise all they want to and all that stuff. But what makes money is what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft is doing this for a reason. Get used to it. That's all it is to it. And my brother E-Rock is in the
Yeah,
building.
look who just joined. Hey, y'all can hear me,
Is that
right?
all? That's all there is to it.
Hey,
And one thing that me and E-Rock got one thing in common. We cannot stand Sony ponies.
You can't. You can't.
Am I right, E-Rock, or what?
Yeah, you right.
Hey,
That's
E-Rock.
right, E-Rock. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Because
Hey,
E-Rock
can y'all
knows
hear me
if it was up to me and E-Rock, we would run Sony out of business. I mean, I know I would.
Oh,
I can't stand him, man. I mean, I'm serious, dog. So, brother E-Rock, I'm glad you're in the show, man. I want to hear what you got to say.
What we talking about?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
all we got about this new service.
Yeah, hey, E-Rock, to real quick, man. So today the report came out that that, as you were saying, the copy and paste crew are following the innovators. They got their version of Game Pass is coming next spring, 2022, and it has different tiers and all this shit. And so that's what we are discussing basically. The company that has zero creativity, zero innovation, does nothing new, brings nothing to gaming, are once again copying the true leaders. And so, hey man, since you're here, I want you to go in with all the energy you have, my brother.
Man, what have I always said? What have I been saying since y'all started watching my channel? What have I been saying all of these years? Xbox innovates, Sony copies and pastes. Yep. Right? All we heard the last 4 years was EBT pass. Game Pass is garbage. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants to pay a subscription to play a bunch of games. Then even from they revolving door talking head leaders, I've never seen a company, PlayStation, they done had like what, nine fucking leaders in the last fucking 8 years? Yeah. Like that lets you know that the company's in fucking turmoil. And it's always the same dumbass talking points. Whatever positive thing Xbox is doing, we gotta downplay that or try to make it less than what it is. Game Pass is unsustainable. Jim Ryan, the dude before him, Game Pass is sustainable. Yeah, and now y'all doing a Game Pass like service. Man, look, good luck trying to catch up with Game Pass. Game Pass is fucking rolling. Look, shit is real when motherfucking David Jaffe, y'all know who he is, right? Former Sony developer, fucking Sony pony extraordinaire. Well, go check out his channel and watch his latest video. When David Jaffe is telling you that Game Pass is an unbelievable value, motherfuckers need to start listening. Like it was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time before Sony tried to merge PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now. Whatever.
Is the developer and creator, the original creator of God of War.
Yeah, God of War, and not just that. Twisted Metal. He worked on all of that Metal. Shit.
Yeah, right. Metal.
Yeah. So whatever Xbox do, god damn, do y'all motherfuckers over there even have an original idea in your head? Xbox gets fucking hard drives on board, y'all get hard drives on board. Xbox starts DLC, y'all start DLC. Xbox does fucking achievements, y'all do trophies. God damn.
That's what I said. Since their inception, they haven't done anything that wasn't original. Nothing.
And yet. Hey, listen, guys, if you didn't want me to say what I got to say, y'all should have gave me that link. And yet, y'all worship these Japanese motherfuckers. I don't get it. I don't understand. I follow innovation. Innovation. I go where the innovation is, right? And when I saw that iPhone wasn't, damn, somebody playing cards? What the fuck is all that noise? When I saw that iPhone wasn't innovating anymore and all they wanted was more money, and I found out that, well, for a while, LG, until their phones got trashed, but Motorola made better phones. I was part of the iPhone cult. Yes, I was. If you said a bad word about iPhone, man, I will argue you down. And then I grew up. And then I realized that iPhone wasn't innovating in nothing.
You fucking follower, you motherfucker, you fucking follower. How dare you?
Man, all y'all niggas on this panel had iPhones. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. So
I have it. Honestly, I never did an iPhone. I swear I never had one either.
Yeah, but like when you find out that Motorola makes a better phone for cheaper, and for some reason, for some reason, Android's the innovator now and Apple's the follower, you move on. All Sony has ever done is copy and paste off of Xbox. This is nothing new. This is no surprise. And Xbox is dragging them kicking and screaming into the 21st century, which is something
Iraq, they try to copy the handheld market, and look how they still get demolished by Nintendo. You know that.
Yeah. But it's something they don't want to do. They didn't want to put their games on PC. No. They didn't want to do a Game Pass like service. They don't want to do any of that shit. But now they seeing how Microsoft is making money hand over foot. Fist. All we heard was how the existence. Look, if y'all didn't want me to go in, y'all shouldn't have handed me the fucking link. All we heard about is how the existence of Game Pass was going to cannibalize game sales. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Shit like Outriders becomes a huge success on Game Pass. Oh, well, they're releasing their exclusives day and date on Game Pass. Game Pass is going to cannibalize the sales of Forza Horizon 5. Wrong. 10 million players. Like after a while, when you're a follower like Sony, you got to be dragged kicking and screaming into innovation. And It's only a matter of time. If they do this and go through with this in spring, it's only a matter of time, Sony PlayStation fans. Y'all can cry, y'all can bitch, y'all can moan to whatever whack-ass gods y'all worship. They will be putting those PlayStation exclusives out day in date, because it makes no sense to, well, Sony should do a strategy where they put their exclusives on PC or the new Game Pass 2 years later. Who in the fuck is going to do that shit? You done spent $200 million on a game and you're not going to get your money day and date. Yeah. You mark my words.
That's what I told them. I told them they're not going to sit there and watch Microsoft give their fan base day and date games while they got a Game Pass or a Sony Pass with just third-party games and not their games exclusive that they still have to pay $60 or $70 day and day. They're not going to do that. They're going to start bargaining.
And like you said, he buy it, Rock. If they're going to do something like that, they might as well not even come out with it.
And now, I want you guys here on Unlimited Production One's channel, because I saw the chat. All the usual suspects is here. You know what I mean? To me, I don't know a lot of y'all. But y'all, to me, y'all niggas is new to this war. You motherfuckers in this chat, you watch. I called y'all motherfuckers. So what? You watch. You watch. Get all of these Sony PlayStation fans that this Game Pass the last 4 years, they will now become true believers. They're probably on. It's already started. They will become true believers. Motherfuckers like all the motherfuckers. Jabari Clark. Oh yeah, PlayStation's got a Game Pass coming. It's gonna be better than Game Pass. You watch, because these motherfuckers are psychotic. They are a cult. They are retarded. They are fucking lunatics over that stupid Japanese box and that stupid brand. And I've been telling y'all this since 2015. I don't know how much more I got to keep telling y'all this shit. Keep telling them. Like Rocky Balboa told Adonis Creed, I'm not going to be here forever. Y'all guys start thinking for yourselves. You watch and mark my fucking words. These Sony PlayStation fans are now going to become true believers about a game service on console. After dissing it for 4 years, it's up to all y'all in the comment section to call these motherfuckers out and give them hell every day. If you don't, then y'all yourselves are frauds. Do not let these motherfuckers off the hook. Do not let y'all boot off their throats, because what did they tell us for 4 years now? Game Pass is trash. Nobody want to play free. I'd rather pay $70 for games. Now let's see what the fuck they say. These motherfuckers are frauds. They're lunatics. They're worse. They're worse than a cult, because at least a cult will be like, yo, man, I don't know about drinking this Kool-Aid, Jim Jones. No, these PlayStation motherfuckers do not even question the bullshit. They go right along with it like the stupid little sheep they are. I've never seen anything like this in my fucking life.
I guarantee you, my brother E-Rock and my brothers in the panel, I guarantee you they're going to be like, you see, thanks to Sony putting the heat on Microsoft and them creating Game Pass, that's why now Game Pass and the Sony Pass is a great thing, because Sony pushed them to that limit. Thank you, Sony. I guarantee you they're going to try to give the props to Sony for the existence of Game Pass.
Remember what Hebot just said.
If they do something like that, man.
Tuck. What the fuck you mean if? What the fuck you mean if, nigga? He called it. They're going to do that. They're going to take credit for all of this shit. You watch.
They're gonna damn well try to. That's for sure, E-Rock.
It's going to go down just like Hebot said. You fucking watch. This lunatic goddamn fan base over that stupid fucking box. I've never seen anything like it. They needed some good news after Xbox Series S crushed them on Black Friday. And even then they went on Twitter with the dumb shit. Well, the only reason why people bought the Xbox Series S, they didn't want to buy it, but it was the only thing in stock. I have never in my life seen a motherfucker go in the store and be like, oh man, y'all motherfuckers ain't got fucking Adidas? Well, give me some fucking ponies. I ain't never seen that shit. I ain't never seen that. Motherfuckers buy some shit they didn't want to buy. If they bought the Xbox Series S, it's because they wanted to buy it.
Yep. Yeah. To be honest, if they bought Series S, I would guarantee that the real reason why they did that is because they wanted really an Xbox Series X, but since it's harder to obtain, they settled for the S. That's what I would say. But not because they couldn't get their hands on a Switch or they couldn't get their hands on no PS5. Nah, hell no.
Hey,
I think most of them just bought it for their kids and stuff like that. And people, the people who do Black Friday shopping, they're not us. I don't think a majority of them are us because it's like just the general shopper who's doing it. And the general shopper sees a $300 console for their kids or for themselves. Hell yeah, they're gonna pick it up.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? With a $15 Game Pass that gives you Xbox Live Gold with over 300 plus games for your kids, you don't even gotta buy them extra games.
That's a win.
And I forgot to tell you this
and if you have two kids in the house, guess what? They can share it because you can share Game Pass and Xbox Live with one person. So two kids get to benefit with the one subscription.
Oh hell yeah! And another thing too, I've got to tell you too. Hey, when you told me about that all Xbox All Access, I told that to 4 people that did work. I told that to 4 people that did work. They went on there. I told that the 4 people that worked. They already got theirs on order.
Right. Well, it's gonna happen, Tuck. It's gonna happen.
They already got theirs on order, so they know they can't get it. So they know they can't get it. Like
you can't buy a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch in a layaway format because that's basically what it is, like a layaway. But you got it.
So they know they can't get it like everybody else want to get it. Just get the Xbox all by itself. They said, well, heck, hey, $38 a month. Okay, I can do that. I mean, all 4 of them today, they bought theirs today.
Yeah.
So the Xbox is selling too. The Xbox Series X is selling because if they get the all access thing out again. Oh yeah, it's selling because I was on the website all day today, and I went like different multiple sources on Best Buy. All of them saying that they can get it within 6 days, they can get it within 5 days, they can get it within 10 days. I mean, and so far, like the one that I bought, I ordered it on the 22nd, and I got it yesterday. So they coming on in. I mean, it's just a matter of time. I mean, I think that's where they're doing it right now because, like you said, that's where they can guarantee you one because they don't have to deal with the bots. They don't have to deal with these crazy people out here doing these bots and botting and all that stuff.
Well, it's convenient. It's convenient, Tuck. It's convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient, like you said, and you can only get one per household.
Right.
So that's how you can actually get one.
Yo, hold up.
With your voice copy.
Hey, hold up. Unlimited. You got a super chat going?
Yeah, and I was about to say thank you, Good Box, for dropping 20, and have a great day as well, man.
Yo, man, tell me how to do that super chat shit. I'm trying to get paid. Fuck that. Soon as I need y'all niggas to come to my channel and drop me some shit. What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck is going on? But that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. We tired of these other motherfuckers out here getting paid. That's what's up.
Exactly.
Yeah, soon as we get, man.
You can super chat already, E-Rock, because you got past 1,000. Yeah,
nigga, I'm realer than a heart attack. Yeah, as soon as we get off this shit,
Yeah. I'll let you know.
This shit is realer than high blood pressure. As soon as we get off this shit, you put a nigga down with how to get the super chat started.
Yeah, I got you.
Fuck doing these damn podcasts and not getting paid. That shit's a wrap.
What's nice about the super chat, E-Rock, is it's the actual people doing it from their heart, right? They're not forced to do it. They do it if they want to.
Yeah,
and they show the love and appreciation based on what you guys, what we do for them, right? When we doing the show. And that's what makes it nice. Yeah, that's what makes it nice.
I mean, look, I've never asked for anything. I don't even say like and subscribe or none of that shit.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate it. So thank you very much, Good Box.
Right.
And,
it's not right.
Yeah, and look, we're gonna use that to just to start to keep growing for all of us. You know what I'm saying? So we all gonna eat off this.
But all of you guys in the we gonna talk soon as it's over because we need to get that super chat activated between now and the Christmas show. I want that shit activated. Shit. But you guys in the chat have a unique. Look, man, I ain't down with that bullshit 100 down with. I'm not here for the money. The nigga, you by yourself. I seen somebody give Odo Alex $100. I said, motherfucker, are you serious?
Remember Griffin Gaming? That motherfucker got $400 with one from one.
I remember. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
And we sitting here like three blind mice doing the fucking Google Hangouts. Them days is over. But yo, man, y'all have you guys in the chat have a unique opportunity. No, I'm real, nigga. You guys in the chat have a unique opportunity to watch this week to watch hypocrisy at its finest. You ain't never seen hypocrisy like this because these Sony fanboys told us for 4 years that they don't want Game Pass. They told us the last 2 years they'd rather pay $70 for games. Paying $70 for games makes you a real gamer. Game Pass is unsustainable. Now you watch how fast they flip. You fucking I'm a Jabari Clark. Porter Rock, King Trash. You watch how fast they all flip.
You gotta be doing a whole lot of intervention videos for a lot of brothers.
Dude, I hate to see how that fraud, fat ass crap gamer gonna put it.
Oh, geez.
Only number one. They back. They number one again.
No, Lord.
Oh yeah, he'll come up with his bullshit. Sony's coming out with a Game Pass service. It'll be much better. Like motherfucker, you are going to see hypocrisy at its finest this week. Y'all watch.
Hey, E-Rock, it already started. I already saw the beginnings of the Game Pass killers here and all this other dumb shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Game Pass killer, man. Like the Forza killer with Drive Club,
Hayes was the Halo killer.
Oh my god!
It was Hayes. It was a Killzone. And what was the other shooter they did? They did another shooter. They did 3 shooters. Where they were like, "This is going to be the Halo killer." Resistance. Yeah. It was Resistance. Yeah, it was Resistance. And all 3 of them like wah 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 wah.
I mean, you know what? I even had one of these guys at work tell me, I'm the one that tell him about the Game Pass. He got the Game Pass on the PC and all that stuff, and he's liking the PC so far. And then I want to tell him about Forza Motorsports 5. Oh, he's gonna say, well, if it's not better than Gran Turismo, he'd say, me playing it. I said, motherfucker, please. I said, you done lost your damn mind. I said, go over there and play the damn game. You see for your damn self. Gran Turismo can't even touch Forza Motorsports 5. It can't even touch it. So don't even worry about it. All of a sudden, he gonna text me. He gonna text me today. He say, oh yeah, you was right. I said, yeah, I'm right. I said, let me tell you right now, and it just now started. Cause like I said, Forza Motorsport 5 is just the beginning. Halo's gonna kick this year off. It's gonna end this year. Hey, and then next year, oh man, it's gonna be dominating next year for Xbox. You know that about that.
Oh, easily.
Ain't no doubt about that. So get ready for it, because if y'all want to turn around and fuck around with that little Japanese boxes y'all call it, keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Because what did Phil Spencer say a long damn time ago? He said we're not gonna be left behind on power no more.
Nope.
That's what he said, and that's what he meant. So
Right.
hey, so your PS4, your PS5 little old faggots out there, y'all think y'all got power now? Y'all don't have shit.
Yeah.
The
Hey,
power
and
is
with
about to start this. Hey, it's already starting as far as I'm concerned. But next year, from here on out, and like Hebot said, the good thing about the Game Pass and the cloud service is that, and I'm loving what you brought up, Ebron. I mean, love what you brought up, Hebot, that you don't have to have an Xbox to enjoy. If you have an older Xbox, you don't have to have an Xbox, a newer Xbox to enjoy your game because it's on the cloud.
yeah. Hey,
So
and with that,
you
with
can't beat
that,
it.
hey, Tuck, exactly, man. But with that, it's been 2 hours, so we're about to give our closing statement. Then we're gonna wrap it up for the night. And before we get to that, chat, thank you for joining me today, man. I didn't get to every comment, but y'all were on fire today as always. Jay Dizzle, other Zinc, and Jay Con and Good Box and the rest. So thank you for joining. But with that said, uh, hey, Tuck, I'm gonna start with you, man. Give me your closing thoughts and let them know where they could find you.
Okay. Let me give you my number one closing thought, okay, about that Japanese crap ass box. Okay? Don't mess with the box. Don't mess with that Japanese crap that you call a PlayStation 5. Go to the ones who want to come over to the good side, we welcome. But to the one that's already over there, we don't need your ass. Keep your ass right where you at. Stay on your damn side, and that's it. If y'all want to play that little ass Japanese box, that's y'all damn business.
Yep.
Jabari Clark, Porter Rock, all them other faggots, okay? But no, but my biggest thoughts about this, y'all, is that the fact that, hey, we got a good crew of people. We love talking about gaming. And we just keep it real about gaming. We ain't about no fakery, nothing like that. We do it for the fun of it. But you can reach me on this is your boy DJ Tuckmaster, original Pony Killer. I can't stand ponies, and I hope the hell they can't stand me with that Japanese box. But my closing argument is this: I love all the people that I access with in the group of the people that I'm with. They're very dear to me. I talk to them more than I talk to people on my job, because you know how the job is and everything and all that. So you can't trust people when you're done with job. So
Right.
I just keep it a real minimum at work. And I just tell them straight up. I just tell people like this at work. If you're gonna listen to me, listen to my podcast. And that's all it is to it. Because if you ain't, because you ain't getting no conversation out of me. But hey, this group of guys that I'm talking to right now, we all brothers, we all love each other. Yes, we argue, fuss, fight, scratch like brothers and all that stuff. But at the end of the doggone day, we all about gaming, and that's it. And that's all I can say.
Thank you, Tuck. Hebot, closing statements and let them know where they could find you, my brother.
Closing statements is just get ready for the hypocrisy, basically, and just we got to learn how to be real, man. Like it's all good for the industry as a whole, and this is something we need to embrace, but not to make it into something negative. Which they'll find a way to do that. As far as the Sony and the lunacy with their mental gymnastic practices, they got to make people go through. You know what I mean? Like E-Rock says. But it's going to be fun to see what happens. But remember, mark the calendar, because we said a lot of statements here today, from myself to Unlimited and now E-Rock and even Tuck, that will be brought up years from now, and people are going to say, no, we said it first, and we've been said it, like a whole lot of other things that we said first, and now people are trying to take credit for it. But that's a whole nother podcast. But it's been fun, man. Thank you for inviting me. Like I said, I'm glad that I was able to have you back for for a few hours on a Friday night, have some fun with my brothers, chiming in and just talking some fun and making fun of Sony and their phony fans or whatever the hell you want to call it. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you soon.
All right, man. And E-Rock, man, last but not least, thank you for joining. Give your final thoughts, man, and let them know where they could find you before we wrap it up.
God damn, man. Tuck got more closer arguments than the lawyer in the Deep South trying to get his man off of a manslaughter charge. God damn. But
He sounds like the lawyer closing out his statement. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's great to join in real quick. It's great to find out that now we can activate super chat. It's great. It's great to be alive. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a good time this month, man. Laughing at the hypocrisy because you guys told us for the longest time that y'all'd rather pay $70 for games, but more important than that, man. Halo Infinite drops next Wednesday, and then after that, a week after that, the gun drops. We eating good over here at Xbox, man. Xbox is the best box. And before I go, man, I seen some sucker in the chat talking about Scalebound. And see, this is your problem. This is your problem. Your problem, Sony fans, is y'all living in the past. Y'all living in the past. We done moved on. We got about 20, 30 new games coming within the next 3 years. And you still talking about Scalebound? The only motherfucker upset about Scalebound is y'all. Y'all never going to buy the shit.
And me, but that's because I'm a real Platinum fan.
Platinum Games is pieces of shit. Okay, they pieces of shit, and I'm glad Phil took that $80 million, and that's why Platinum fucking Games is relegated now to making fucking Bayonetta 3 on the Switch that looks like an Xbox 360 game. I've been telling you forever. Xbox needs to do what they did and get motherfucking Western and American developers. That's what they did, and now everybody is salty. Oh man, it's so great to be alive. Unlimited production, man. But thanks for having me, bro.
Always. All right.
Hey, real quick. Hey, can I say to boner dysfunctional dick? Right? It's fucking stupid. The PS4, PlayStation 5 does not have an 8K game. The Tourist is rendering in 8K, but it does not output natively in 8K. Unlike the Xbox Series X, that does have a game that's natively 4K, which is the Falconeer, and it does output in 8K on your monitor or your 8K TV display. Just to correct you, okay? Get your facts straight, because it's not digital fuckery over here. We're gonna correct you real quick.
All right, and so thank you everybody for joining. It was a wonderful show. It's always
and thanks for the chat.
Great. It's always great, man. The chat was great. But hey, we gonna enjoy our weekend. We'll be back on E-Rock X channel for the Christmas Exile podcast later this month. So subscribe to him. Subscribe to Hebot. Let's keep growing our channels so we could keep, because we the ones who really been out here putting in the fight, especially these two wonderful brothers. So with that, enjoy your weekend, and we are out of here.